Hey, welcome back, you guys. I am so glad you're here today. Seriously, you're right where you need to be. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Alice, and this is your space for real, honest, no fluff tarot readings. Now, today's reading is one that I genuinely got chills laying out, and I want you to take a deep breath before we dive in. Because what the cards are showing is a lot. We've got good news coming in. We've got a significant person on the horizon. We've got some shadowy energy that someone around you is throwing. And we've got a layer of protection over your life that is absolutely solid. This is not a surface level read. This goes deep. And I think if this found you today, it found you for a reason. Drop a comment below. I read every single one, and it genuinely makes my day. All right, now let's get into it. Okay, so the very first card on the table, and I want you to just take a moment with this one, we have the Nine of Cups, upright. And honestly, I exhaled when I saw this, like genuinely exhaled. Because the Nine of Cups is known in the tarot world as the wish card. That is literally what readers call it, the wish card. And when it shows up as your very first card in a reading, that is not a coincidence. That is the universe tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, pay attention. Something good is headed your way. Now, I want to break down what good actually looks like here because this is not just vague positive vibes. This card is specific. The Nine of Cups is about fulfillment, emotional, material, relational fulfillment. It's that feeling of sitting back and going, wow, this is actually everything I asked for. That is the energy surrounding you right now. And here's where it gets really interesting. When the Nine of Cups shows up in the context of love and relationships, which is absolutely the context we're reading in today, it almost always signals that news is coming in. Real news. Not a maybe, not a hint, not a, well, something might be shifting. Actual, tangible news. And that news, it is good. Now let me talk about where this news might actually be coming from because the cards are being pretty specific about this. There is a person connected to this energy. It could be a direct message, a text, a call, a conversation that just kind of lands in your lap when you least expect it. Or it could be news tied to a partnership, a connection, something that involves two people coming together in a real and intentional way. And I want you to really sit with that for a second because the cards are not being subtle here. There is also, and I feel really strongly about this part, the possibility of a proposal. Now, I don't necessarily mean a down on one knee, here's a ring moment, although I am absolutely not ruling that out for some of you watching. What I mean is a proposal of union, someone extending an offer, someone saying, I want this, I want us, I want to actually build something with you. That energy is alive and well in this card. And then there is this other thread woven through the Nine of Cups that I cannot ignore, and that is the energy of return. Someone coming back, someone from your past, maybe someone you had real significant history with, maybe someone you thought that chapter was completely closed with, like stepping back into your story. And I know that can bring up a lot. I know for some of you that thought alone stirs up a whole mix of feelings that you don't even have words for yet. But the cards are framing this return as something that belongs here, not as chaos, not as a disruption, as a completion. Here's what I really want you to hold on to from this card. Whatever is coming in, it is coming in your favor. The Nine of Cups does not show up when things are about to go sideways. It shows up when the tide is turning, when what you have been quietly hoping for, whether you've spoken it out loud or just held it close in your chest, is finally making its way to you. So if you have been waiting, this card is saying not much longer. And okay, I need you to lean in for this one. And because this is not a card that shows up quietly, we have the King of Swords upright, just sitting there looking absolutely unbothered and completely intentional. This card stopped me in my tracks because the King of Swords is not a casual energy. This is not a, hey, I've been thinking about you text at 11 at night kind of guy. This is someone who moves with purpose, someone who calculates before he acts, someone who, when he finally decides to do something, and I mean really decides, he does not waver. He does not second guess himself. He shows up. Now let me tell you who this person actually is, because the cards are painting a really clear picture here. This is a man with experience, not just life experience in a general sense. I mean, he has been through things, real things. the kind of things that sharpen you, that strip away all the fluff and leave you with this very clear, very direct way of seeing the world. He has probably been underestimated before. He has probably been in situations where things got complicated, where the ground shifted under him, and he learned the hard way how to stand anyway. That history is written all over this card. The King of Swords is also very classically associated with air signs. We're talking Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And if any of those resonate for you, if someone is coming to mind right now, if a birthday is ringing a bell, please drop it in the comments because I want to know how this is landing for you. But here's what I really want you to pay attention to. This man is strategic. That word is important. Strategic does not mean cold. Strategic does not mean he doesn't feel things. It means he thinks before he moves. It means he has been watching, assessing, weighing his options. And the fact that this card is coming up right here, right now, immediately after that beautiful Nine of Cups energy, is not an accident. The cards are telling us that whatever move this person makes, it is a considered one. It is intentional. He is not stumbling into your life. He is walking toward it. Now, here's the part I want to sit with because I think this is the piece that's going to hit for a lot of you watching. This energy, it could be someone completely new, someone who has not been in your story yet, someone who is about to enter with this very calm, very assured, very I know exactly what I want kind of presence. And if that's you, get ready because that kind of energy coming in is a lot. And it is a good a lot, but for many of you, this is not a stranger. And I felt this very strongly when this card came out. For a significant portion of you watching, this is someone you already know, someone with whom there was, let's call it friction, tension, maybe a disagreement that got big enough to create real distance between you. Maybe words were said, maybe lines got drawn, maybe you both walked away from something that was never fully resolved. And there has just been this unfinished quality to that connection ever since. And here's what the King of Swords is saying about that. He has processed it. Whatever happened between you, he has sat with it in that very methodical, very deliberate way that this energy operates. He has turned it over in his mind. He has looked at it from every angle. And he has arrived at something, a conclusion, a position. And that position, based on where this card is sitting in this reading, it involves you. I also want to point something out about the imagery in this card because it matters. The King of Swords sits on his throne with his sword raised, not pointed at anyone, just raised, ready, alert. He is not attacking, he is not retreating, he is present and prepared. And that posture, that combination of stillness and readiness, that is exactly the energy this person is carrying right now. He is not here to play games, he is not here to be wishy-washy, to dip his toes in and then disappear. When the King of Swords makes a move, it is a real move. And something in this reading is telling me that the move is close. So if you have been wondering about someone, if there is a name or a face or a memory that keeps coming back no matter how many times you try to set it down, this card is asking you to stop dismissing that because the energy of this person showing up or returning is very, very real right now. And the King of Swords paired with the Wish card we just pulled, that is a combination that tells a very specific story, one that I think some of you have been quietly hoping for, even if you haven't let yourself say it out loud. And I have to be honest with you, this is the card in this reading that made me pause, like genuinely put the deck down for a second and just breathe, because what came out here is important. It is really, really important. And I need you to receive this with open eyes, not fear. Okay? Open eyes, not fear. We have the Seven of Swords, and it is sitting here looking slippery and deliberate and completely unashamed about it. Now, the Seven of Swords is one of those cards that people in the tarot community call the shadow card, the card of what is happening when you are not looking. And the imagery tells you everything you need to know. There is a figure in this card who is tiptoeing away, arms full of swords that are not his, looking back over his shoulder, not walking, not running, tiptoeing, quietly, carefully, like someone who knows exactly what they are doing and has absolutely zero intention of getting caught doing it. That energy, that is someone in your life right now. Let me be specific because the Seven of Swords is not a vague card. It is not saying be careful out there in the general world. It is pointing directly at your circle, your immediate close-ish circle. someone you probably already know, someone who has access to you, to your life, your plans, your conversations, maybe even your home or your social space, someone who smiles at you, someone who asks how things are going, and then turns around and does something with that information that is not in your best interest, not even close. And here's the part that I felt so strongly when this card came out. This person envies you, like deeply, specifically envies you. And I want to break down what that envy actually looks like, because it is not always what we picture. It is not always someone seething in the corner, obviously bitter, obviously hostile. Sometimes, and this is the sneaky thing about Seven of Swords energy, it looks like a friend. It looks like someone who is supportive on the surface, who likes your posts, who says, "Oh my gosh, you deserve everything," and then whispers something different when you leave the room. This person is watching your life, watching your relationships, watching the good things that are building for you. And we just talked about a lot of good things building for you, and they are not happy about it, not because they hate you in some dramatic way, but because your life reflects back to them everything they feel like they are missing in theirs. And that is a dangerous kind of envy, because it is personal, it is specific, it is tied to the exact things you care most about. The Seven of Swords also speaks very clearly to gossip, to words being spread, to a narrative being constructed about you, your choices, your relationships, your character, that you did not authorize and would not recognize as true. Someone is talking. Someone is planting seeds of doubt, whether it is in your personal relationships, your romantic life, or your broader social world. There is a whisper campaign happening, and you may not even know the full scope of it yet. And then there is this other layer, because the Seven of Swords is not just about passive envy. This is not someone who is just quietly jealous and keeping it to themselves. This is someone who is actively moving, actively trying to interfere, trying to get in the way of the very things we just saw in the first two cards. The good news, the meaningful connection, the beautiful thing that is headed toward you. Someone is aware that something good is unfolding in your world, and they are trying to get their hands on it, or failing that, trying to pull it apart before it can fully form. I also want to name this because I think it is important. The Seven of Swords sometimes points to what I call energy vampires, people who attach themselves to your orbit not because they genuinely care about you, but because they want something from you. Your time, your attention, your light, your resources, your connections. They feed off what you generate. And you, based on everything this reading has shown me so far, generate a lot. You have a powerful, magnetic, abundant energy, and some people, instead of finding that in themselves, decide they would rather just orbit yours and take what they can get. So here is what I want you to sit with from this card. Do not be afraid of it. The Seven of Swords showing up here is not a threat. It is a warning, and there is a massive difference between the two. A threat is something coming to get you. A warning is the universe saying, hey, look up. Pay attention. Not everyone around you is who they are presenting themselves to be. And you are far too close to something really good to let someone else's small, scared, envious energy get anywhere near it. Because the thing is, and I mean this, like, you have worked too hard and come too far for that. And listen, like, after everything we just talked about with that Seven of Swords, after sitting with that shadow energy and that warning about who is moving against you, this card came out and I genuinely felt my whole chest loosen. Because the universe did not leave you hanging, not even a little bit. We have strength, upright, and it is sitting here like an answer to everything that card before it was trying to say. Now let me tell you why this placement matters so much. The cards did not give us the Seven of Swords and then stop there. They gave us the threat and then immediately, in the very next breath, gave us this. Strength, upright, unbothered, immovable, like the universe putting its hand on your shoulder and saying, yes, I see what's in your circle. I see what's moving against you. And I need you to understand that it does not matter, because look at what you are carrying. That is the message of this card. That is what it is here to tell you. Strength in the Rider-Waite tradition shows a woman, and I want you to notice this because the imagery is deliberate. A woman gently, calmly, completely taming a lion. Not with force, not with weapons, not with brute power or aggression or any of the things we typically associate with the word strength. She is doing it with her bare hands and an absolute unshakable inner stillness. The lion is enormous, the lion is wild, and she is just there, composed, present, completely in command of the situation without raising her voice or breaking a sweat. That is you, whether you know it or not, and the cards are strongly suggesting that you do not fully know it yet. That is exactly who you are. Here's what I want to say about the protection piece of this card, because this is the part that I felt so intensely when Strength came out right after that warning. Everything you have been building in every plan, every intention, every quiet hope you have been holding, it is protected. I do not mean that in a vague, general, fingers crossed kind of way. I mean that there is a genuine energetic shield around what is meant for you. And the things that are meant for you cannot be stolen. They cannot be gossiped away. They cannot be dismantled by someone else's envy or interference, no matter how strategic that interference thinks it is being. The Seven of Swords person, and we talked about who that is, they can talk, they can scheme, they can spread whatever narrative they are spreading, and it will not touch what is actually yours, because what is actually yours is sealed by something they do not have access to, and that something is the energy you carry. Now, I need to talk about that energy directly, because this is the piece that the cards are really pressing on. You have been underestimating yourself. And I say that not as a criticism, but as a very clear observation from what is laid out in front of me. There is a power in you, in a real specific, formidable power that you have probably been treating as ordinary. Maybe you have dismissed it as just being perceptive, or just being intuitive, or just being someone people are naturally drawn to. You have been minimizing something that is genuinely extraordinary. Strength is not just a card about resilience. It is not just about getting through hard things. It is about the specific kind of power that comes from knowing yourself so completely. Your light, your darkness, your full range, that nothing outside of you can destabilize what is inside of you. That is the energy this card is describing. And it is saying that you have it fully right now, even if you cannot feel it from where you are standing. And here is what that means in practical terms. The conspiracies we just named, the gossip, the envy, the person who is trying to get in the way of your good, they are operating from a place of fear and scarcity. That is the root of all of it, fear and scarcity. And strength operates from a completely different frequency. It operates from abundance, from wholeness, from a deep, quiet certainty that there is enough, that you are enough, that what is coming to you is coming regardless of what anyone else does or says or tries to set in motion. You cannot fight that kind of energy with scheming. You cannot outmaneuver it with gossip. You cannot dim a light that does not need your permission to shine. So what I need you to take away from this card, and I mean really take it away, not just hear it and move on, is this. Stop waiting to feel powerful. Stop waiting until everything is resolved and cleared and perfectly settled before you step into what you actually are. The Strength card is not saying you will be powerful one day when things calm down. It is saying you are powerful right now, today, in the middle of all of it, in the middle of the uncertainty and the people who are talking and the plans that are still forming. You are the woman taming the lion with her bare hands. You always have been. It is time you started acting like it. And I want you to stay with me here, because this one is a continuation of everything we just talked about with that Seven of Swords energy. And it is bringing something that I think a lot of you have been quietly waiting to hear. We have the moon, and it landed in this position like it was always supposed to be here. Now, the moon is one of the most layered, most complex cards in the entire deck, and people often pull it and feel unsettled because it is a card of shadows and illusions and things that are not quite what they appear to be. But in this position, in this specific context, the moon is not here to frighten you. It is here to prepare you. There is a difference. The moon rules the hidden, the concealed, the things that operate in the dark because they cannot survive in the light. And I need you to sit with that for a second in relation to what we just named this person, this Seven of Swords energy in your circle, this one who smiles to your face and moves against you when you turn around. They have been operating exactly like the moon describes, in the shadows, in the spaces between what is said and what is real, in the gap between what they show you and what they actually are. But here is what the moon is telling us right now. That phase is ending because the moon does something that shadows cannot stop. It illuminates, not like the sun, not all at once, not harshly, not in a way that announces itself, but steadily, quietly, inevitably, and what it is about to illuminate is exactly the person we named in that last card. Something is coming that is going to show you who this is. And I want to be specific about how this revelation tends to arrive, because the moon is a card of intuition and psychic knowing above almost everything else. This is probably not going to come through a dramatic confrontation. It is probably not going to be someone sitting you down and delivering evidence. The way the moon works, the way this kind of knowing tends to surface, is through you, through your own inner world, through a feeling that suddenly sharpens into clarity, through a dream that lingers with you and will not let go, through a moment where you are scrolling or sitting quietly or just going about your day, and something catches. Something in you goes still, and some of you are going to see something. A photo, a post, something small and seemingly incidental that other people would scroll right past. But your intuition, and we've already talked about how powerful your intuition is going to catch it, is going to flag it, is going to say quietly but unmistakably, there it is. And others of you are going to feel it first. That gut feeling that has been whispering to you, and maybe for weeks, maybe for months, is going to stop whispering and start speaking clearly. You already have a suspicion, don't you? There is already a face, a name, a person who surfaces in your mind when I describe this energy. The moon is not giving you new information. It is confirming what you have already, on some level, already sensed. Now here's the part that I find so extraordinary about this card in this position. Because the moon is not just about the revelation, it is about what happens after. And what happens after is this. The moment you see it clearly, the moment the identity of this person clicks into focus and the fog lifts, their power over your situation collapses. Completely. Almost immediately. Think about that. Think about how the moon works. All of that shadow energy, all of that unseen movement, all of that scheming and whispering and interference, it only functions because it is hidden. It only has power in the dark. The second the light hits it, the second you can see it for exactly what it is, it loses everything, because you cannot be manipulated by something you can see clearly. You cannot be destabilized by something you have named. You cannot be touched by an energy that you have fully recognized and consciously chosen to step away from. That is the promise in this card. Not just exposure, liberation, your liberation. And the moon paired with strength from the last card, y'all, that combination is remarkable. Because what it is saying is this: you already have everything you need to receive this revelation and handle it with complete grace. You will not fall apart when you see it. You will not spiral. You will not give this person the satisfaction of watching you unravel. You are going to see it, know it, name it, and then turn back toward everything that is actually meant for you without missing a step. Because that is who you are. And the cards have been saying that from the very beginning of this reading. And then we have the final card, the advice card, the one that takes everything we have laid out in this reading, the good news, the connection, the warning, the protection, the revelation, and tells you what to actually do with it. We have the Four of Pentacles, and honestly, it is the most practical, grounded, clear-eyed card this reading could have possibly closed on. Now, the Four of Pentacles gets a bad reputation sometimes. People see it and they think rigid, they think hoarding, they think someone clutching their coins with both hands and refusing to move. But that is a surface level reading of this card, and this card is here to do something much more specific than that. What the Four of Pentacles is actually about, in its truest, most intentional form, is this: knowing the value of what you have, knowing who deserves access to it, and choosing deliberately and without apology to protect it. That is the first piece of advice this card is giving you. And I want to say it plainly, because the Four of Pentacles is not a card that dances around things. Stop talking about your plans. I mean that with so much love and zero judgment. But after everything we have seen in this reading, after that Seven of Swords, after the moon showing us that someone is watching and waiting and looking for ways to interfere, the single most powerful thing you can do right now is become quieter about what you are building. Not because you should be afraid, not because you need to live in secrecy or paranoia, but because not every vision needs an audience before it is finished. Not every dream needs to be shared in real time. There are people in your circle who are listening to what you share, and using that information in ways that do not serve you. The Four of Pentacles is saying, close that door, let your plans develop in silence, let your goals grow in private, let the good things solidify before you, show them to the world. There is immense power in quiet momentum. There is a reason the most beautiful things often arrive without warning. They were protected during their formation, and yours deserve that same protection. Which brings me to the second thing this card is pointing to, and I say this with full sincerity because the moon before it set up this message perfectly. Pay attention to your protective practices, whatever that looks like for you, whether it is something you wear, something you keep close, something you do as part of your daily rituals. Take it seriously right now. Double down on it. If you have been thinking about adding a layer of protection to your space or your energy field, this is your confirmation to do it. If you have a protective object that matters to you, keep it close. If you have been meaning to refresh or duplicate something that makes you feel shielded, now is the time. The Four of Pentacles in this position is not superstition. It is strategy. It is the cards saying your energy is valuable, your plans are valuable, your future is valuable. Guard them accordingly. And the third thing, the one that ties everything in this reading together into one final clear note, is this. Believe in your own strength. Not tomorrow, not once things are more certain, not once you have more proof or more reassurance or more confirmation from the outside world that you are on the right track. Now. The Strength card told you who you are. The Four of Pentacles is telling you to act like it. Because here is what this reading has been building toward from the very first card. The good news is real. The protection is real. The revelation is coming. The threat is real but limited. Limited specifically by how fully you step into your own power and how carefully you guard what is yours. And underneath all of it, underneath every single card we have pulled today, there is something that I want you to feel before this reading ends. Home is coming. I mean that in every sense of the word. The Four of Pentacles in this closing position, paired with everything we have seen today, is pointing toward a period of stabilization that is closer than you think. The restlessness, the uncertainty, the feeling of things being unfinished or up in the air, that is not your permanent state. That is a season, and seasons change. What the cards are showing me on your horizon is a kind of settling, a coming home to yourself, to your space, to the relationships that are real and lasting and solid. There is a nest being built, maybe literally, a home, a space that feels like yours, a place that holds you. And maybe figuratively, a foundation in your relationships, a sense of family, a feeling of belonging that you have been reaching toward for longer than you might even realize. It is coming, not as a distant dream, as the next chapter. Okay, let's bring this home because this reading, this one right here, came out as one of the most complete, most cohesive spreads I have done in a long time. Every card spoke to the one before it. Every card built something. And I want to make sure you leave here with the full picture held in both hands. Here is what the cards told us today. You are a woman who has genuine, beautiful things coming toward her. Good news, real connection, opportunities that are already in motion, already on their way. That was the opening energy of this reading, and it is also the closing energy, the frame around everything else. In the middle of all of that, there is a person, someone close enough to see what you are building, who is not happy about it, who is spreading words you did not say, moving in ways you cannot yet fully see, operating in the shadow of your life with an energy that is small and scared and envious of everything you are and everything you have. We named that, we did not flinch from it, and then the cards immediately answered it. With strength, with the moon, with the promise that this person will be seen by you, through you, because of the extraordinary intuition you carry, and that the moment they are seen, they lose every ounce of influence they ever had over your situation, because your plans are protected. They always were. What is meant for you has a shield around it that no amount of gossip or scheming or envious interference can penetrate. Not because the universe is magical in some abstract way, though I believe it is, but because you are the protection. You are the strength. You are the one taming the lion, and the advice is simple. Guard your words, protect your energy, trust the power that lives inside you, not as something to aspire to one day, but as something you are carrying right now, today, in this exact moment. because the stabilization is coming, the nest is being built, the season of uncertainty has a last page, and you are closer to it than you know. Family, home, belonging, the feeling of solid ground beneath your feet, all of it is on the horizon. All of it is already moving toward you. You just have to stop letting other people's small energy take up space in the life that belongs to you. And now I just want to speak to you directly for a moment, because the cards today were not only showing me your circumstances, they were showing me you, who you are, what you carry, what you are sometimes too humble or too tired or too caught up in the noise to fully see in yourself. You are not ordinary. I know that sounds like something everyone says, and I know it can be easy to hear and hard to actually receive. But the spread that came out today on the specific combination of energies, Quincy, underneath all of it, the way the protection card showed up without hesitation, that does not appear for just anyone. That appears for someone who has done the work, who has kept going, who has chosen again and again to stay true to something even when the world around them was noisy and confusing and sometimes working against them. That is you. That is who is watching this right now. So take the advice from this reading seriously, not from fear, from self-respect. Quiet your plans, guard your energy, trust your gut when it speaks to you about who is real and who is not. And let yourself believe, even just a little more than you did before you clicked on this video, that the life you have been imagining, the stable, warm, full, genuinely beautiful life, is not a fantasy. It is what is next. And that, you guys, is what the cards had to say today. This reading came out so full and so clear. We have the good news arriving, the connection deepening, the shadow being named and neutralized, the strength confirmed, the revelation promised, and the advice given plainly and with love. It is all here. Every piece of it. The main message of this reading is this: you are a woman who is protected, powerful, and on the edge of something really genuinely good. Do not let the noise convince you otherwise. Do not let the small energy of people who want what you have pull your eyes away from where you are going. Guard your plans, trust your intuition, and keep building, because the nest is almost finished and it is going to be beautiful. Drop a comment and let me know how this landed for you. I love reading your responses so much. Some of you will feel every single word, some of you will connect with one specific card, and some of you will find something here that you needed to hear today without even knowing you needed it. That is what the cards do. They always find what needs to be found. And a huge, huge thank you to everyone who stayed until the very end. Your support, the likes, the comments, the shares, the fact that you are here means more than I know how to say. It is what keeps this channel going and keeps me showing up to do what I love. Take care of yourselves out there. Protect your energy, guard your magic, and remember, the things that are truly meant for you cannot be taken by anyone. Sending you all so much love. See you in the next one.